we want to do some work on this back wall that has this forest wallpaper on it, which means we need to get these two shelves. Another thing that Nate wanted me to look at and figure out, experiment with, is all right, y'all, it is Thursday, which means yard day. And as much as I'm sure you'd love to watch me mow the lawn again, let's just go ahead and get this front yard done real quick. You get another sneak peek here at what a setup looks like for Nate's clients who film here in the studio house. So we've done the IKEA patio wall with those patio tiles. We have hung some artwork up on this wall behind me here. In fact, the way that this room is set up, the cameras would be facing that wall that the artwork is hanging up on. The client would be standing about here where I'm at, recording their episodes for their YouTube channels. Anyways, one of the things we're going to be working on today in this room is we're going to be putting this piece of artwork, the owl on it, up on this wall that it's leaning against. However, I want to adjust where this wire hangs, so I'm either going to unscrew where it's attached, those brackets, and move them down, or we need to shorten that wire so it doesn't hang above this artwork. Leaving the green room, entering Nate's office. So Nate, along with his wife, did these Bob Ross style oil, or maybe they're acrylic paintings. So these are Nate's own works of art. We've got two of them in here. And he wants them hung up on this wall behind me, between this closet door and this bathroom door in his office. He also wants this outlet covered, so instead of doing it one photo on one side and one photo on the other, we're going to cover this with the one painting, and then we're going to do the next painting just below it, and we'll see how that looks. All right, y'all, the next thing we're going to look at, I don't know if we have a perfect solution for this yet. This room currently looks like a storage room for some of the filming equipment, lights, and stands, centering stands, and whatnot. But it is, like all the other rooms in this house, a room used to video clients for their YouTube channels. We want to do some work on this back wall that has this forest wallpaper on it, which means we need to get these two shelves moved out of here. And I don't currently have a great place to put them, but we're gonna move them for temporary until I can work with Nate in determining what might be the best fit for them. Because I think we want to use these as well for props in future videos. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to moving those around. Good morning. Back in the studio house, and this morning we're going to change a few lights, or try to. We've got a line of 5 lights here that are all burned out. For some reason, 5 in a row, all burned out together. Hopefully you can see that. We're gonna try 2 different things. We're gonna see if these can lights, they're already can lights, but these are can lights that have LED lights already attached to them. We're gonna see if this will fit in the same hole, or we'll place one with this, and then we'll place one other light with another just regular round, your average light bulb that you would see, also LED, and see which one looks better down here. We like the warm light. This one might be a bright light, which we wouldn't be a big fan of here. It won't be too big a deal because we don't ever have the house lights on when we're filming for our clients. Nate's videographers have access to different box lights, square lights, wand lights, specifically for videography and photo ops. So not too big a deal. We'll see how it looks. Might be that we just use the regular average looking LED light bulb. So let's give it a shot, see what we can get done this morning. Okay, so we got those lights taken care of. We decided not to do the can lights and just do the regular round LED lights, but it is substantially brighter down here, which would be nice. Just a bunch of different colored foam squares. We want to move it down into the room with the forest wallpaper on it. we'll put it in that closet for now, but in the future we want to put these squares on that wall, cover up the forest wallpaper. So let's get that done and see what else we can do this morning. Another thing we're gonna try this morning is we previously upgraded these, fixed these Zoom mics by inserting a new threaded piece on the bottom where we can put a handle on the Zoom mic, but because of the epoxy we put in here, we can't get the backs slid back on there. We're gonna try to use this Dremel piece to kind of whittle away, sand away some of that slide, that battery cover, so we can get those back on the backs of those Zooms. I brought a box full of sound foam squares down just a few days ago. What I want to do is go through the box, open up all the packages, and give this foam a chance to air out or decompress before we start to get a layout of different colored foam pieces to put on this forest wallpaper wall. Okay, so I got everything, all of the foam squares unpacked from that box and their compressed wrapping. We've got a decent stack, or several decent stacks, of a few different colors of foam that we get to play around with in a few days. So, all right guys, another thing that Nate wanted me to look at and figure out, experiment with, is he bought 2 packages of these rope lights. Might be what they're called. There's 3 locations on here that have space sockets for light bulbs. We're gonna put Edison type bulbs in them, but we're gonna string these across the ceiling in front of this IKEA patio tile wall. So we'll put one maybe 3 inches away from the wall, just to add to the ambiance, I suppose, of this backdrop for filming purposes. So we're gonna give this a shot and see what we have to work with. Okay, I got the rope lights hung up, some Edison light bulbs in the sockets. We will see what Nate says about them when he gets here to the studio house and takes a look. He may want me to move lights forward a little bit farther from the wall, but otherwise I think it looks pretty good. We've got both lights set up, connected to this outlet. It's really an exterior outlet plug for outside. The nice thing about it is that it has a remote to turn it on and off, so we can leave the rope lights on 100% of the time and just use the remote to turn them on and off. So those will make for a nice backdrop in clients' videos. All right, y'all, it is Thursday, which means yard day. And as much as I'm sure you'd love to watch me mow the lawn again, let's just go ahead and get this front yard done real quick. Now that that's done, let's head to the backyard. Okay, so these lights are supposed to be dimmable. By switch to be able to dim them and brighten them with this remote, and it does not work. So Nate has asked me to box them up and get them returned through UPS to Amazon, and we'll order more bulbs that should work as dimmable lights. All right, guys, back at the studio house after a long weekend. Just gonna do some adjusting on lights really quick before Nicolene Peck gets here, or hopefully before she gets filming anyways. And then we're gonna call it just a quick morning. So let's get in here. I'm back out in the garage of the studio house working on this workbench once again. I've been out here off and on. I've had to switch between drill heads as I've gone between 2 different lengths of screw, and one has a regular Phillips head screw head and the other has a star. The Phillips head screws are shorter screws, and that's what I used to attach the OSB to the top of the workbench. The star head is what I used on the longer screws, which are what I used to screw in through a 2x4 into another 2x4, or a 2x4 into a 2x6, or vice versa. So I spent a decent amount of time in the garage today, like I said, attaching those 2 pieces of OSB and then also putting more 2x4 pieces up between the backside, the wall, and the front of the workbench. I also had to attach a second piece of 2x4 near the end of the tabletop where I put the second piece of OSB. I had to attach a 2x4 to another 2x4 in order to scrap pieces of OSB together to make that workbench top and still have space to screw both ends of OSB onto the workbench. So that's what we got today.